Hello and welcome to you all to Our Africa. Well, this is the show that aims to unite all Africans across the continent. I'm your host, Matabelo Moloi, and together in today's episode, we celebrate the spirit of Ubuntu, commemorating Nelson Mandela Day and what this day actually means to all of us as Africans. The 18th of July was declared the International Nelson Mandela Day by the United Nations General Assembly back in November 2009. The aim? To recognize his values and dedication to service humanity in areas such as race relations, protection of human rights, gender equality, rights of children, the fight against poverty, just to mention a few. Mandela lived to unite not only the people in Africa, but the world at large.
Out children, and I see a lot of them here today. What would be the reason for us to come together? Let us remind ourselves that it is ordinary people, men and women, boys and girls, that make the world a special place. In the true tradition of the Children's Fund, this event is simply the sincere desire to make society more familiar with the smiles of children rather than their tears. This is the driving force behind the vision of the fund, and I quote, to change the way society treats its children and youth. If this were true in our society, our youth would be happier, our families stronger, our communities safer, and our government reasonably at peace with its citizens.
My name is Yase Godlo. I'm manager of Mandela Day and outreach at the Nelson Mandela Foundation. Mandela Day is a day that it is a way that the world has come to honor Mr. Mandela's legacy. It was in 2009 where the UN actually recognized the 18th of July as Mandela Day in the international calendar. This global campaign became a very key project for the Nelson Mandela Foundation, rather a program that we've actually ensured that we mobilize different communities to get involved and see how they can make a difference, not just in their countries but in the world. So Mandela Day has become quite key in the Nelson Mandela Foundation work that we do. And we have ensured that everyone focuses and mobilizes around one thing, which is very important, and to ensure that people see impact and also people build and do activities and initiatives that are about sustaining the development and creating a better future for everyone. For us as the Nelson Mandela Foundation, it is quite key and quite important that in the 18th of July is also a time that we celebrate what we've done over the past year. So what is quite key is to ensure that people understand that we cannot change the world in one day. It is very important for us to extend that beyond the month of July, extend that beyond the 18th of July to make sure we make every day a Mandela Day. And quite key in all of this is to ensure that as well that there's a focused theme, especially this year, it being action against poverty. We're saying to the global community, let's get behind the fight against poverty. Let's ensure that we have identified what we need to do to change the world, what we need to do we change the narrative around education, around literacy, around food security, around poverty eradication.
As Africans, Nelson Mandela Day means unity in action through acts of kindness and how we can inspire change. Colonialism has done enough to segregate us as Africans, and on a day like this, we should aspire to find ways to break down borders that separate us.
I have fought against white domination, and I have fought against black domination. I have cherished the idea of a democratic and free society in which all persons will live together in harmony and with equal opportunities.
Many Africans are still living beyond the poverty line, and this is even in places where they thought there would be greener pastures. Many of our brothers and our sisters have left their native countries in search for greener pastures here in South Africa. Even though the situation in their home country might have been dire, it hasn't been a bed of roses on our shores.
Good news do we just Zimbabwe. Na ikitsena mo kitile kalwa kala sokon. Ure kitamo kitonya ka mereko yolo mo kidula ngona mo kila ngona kidichila didula mo ara di plastic.
Just like God knows, Memory Zoe also left her home country in search of a better life.
Igama lami nginguMemory Zoe elizweni ngibuya from Zimbabwe. Okungilethela ikusodinga umsebenzi ukuthi ngithole imali ingane zami zihambe esikolo nokuthi bethole ukudla ngoba naseZimbabwe asitholi umsebenzi.
Along with other nationals from Mozambique and South Africa, God knows that Memory reside at a place called Grootfontein, which is found between Centurion and Midrand.
Yeah, mo South Africa kitseni mo South Africa kinale 21 years, 19 years. I think so 2008. Liskolo asingikitseni iskolo, kare nginotsena skolo ela re nginotsena re khona o bala mola le mola mara asingiki iskolo ka taba ya hore batshwadi ba kanje ba sena tšhelete ya hore ke kgone ya sekolong ke go sena hore ke kgone mo re ke khomane diaparo e ba ya mmereko ba bereka 2 months no pay so kapalore ka no bona ra at least re ke gae ke South Africa go khomana re nka khomana o berekanyana e ke tsena mo ke thomile ka dula Petersburg dilisa bo 4 years ka ba ka khomana mmereko ka dia RDP ke tsena bo Mpumalanga o Denelton Giani ke ya kae ka bereka ka ba ka boela hae ke ya hae re go bele sekolo ke seno motho o mogolo jwale ke sa kgona re ke bele sekolo tshaka ka e sa lekana e ke ya sekolo kumana ona le bana ba banyane so a sa kgona re ke di ke sekolo mo sa le ke feta mo ka 2013 ka bereka mo group juice ke mo ke bereka ngona le yana le ke sa bereka ona mara bereko ona ona le re re a bereka ka fortnight re lo bereka 4 days ka beke tse pedi ene tšhelete re ngolang yona re berekela 110 so e o sena pese job e o dirang yona botsebotse o no ba motho wa o dula ka gore sa le ke no tsena mo ka marketa mola bangira so ba re krina batho ba re tsepele ngona so e nga lesa o berekana mola futhi ya seng.
There are over 170 shacks on this piece of land with over 500 people living there. The shacks are made of plastic for majority of the residents due to not having enough money to buy building material. The residents are employed by the nearby farmers who use casual labor, meaning that most of them end up only working 4 days in a space of 2 weeks.
Ngike ngawuthola umsebenzi kwesinye isikhathi like 2009 bengisebenza ku-plaza leli bathi Mount Carmel Farm. Kuyenzwa ama-salads. So ma umsebenzi bethu uphelile banokumisa banokuwafula abantu kwesinye isikhathi. Sinokuhamba siyomaketha this side bathi emaBlomini. Le bacatsha nje for my days, 2-3 days yabuya ihlala endlini. So siyahlala asinandaba nakho. Silinde from Mount Carmel bayasithatha futhi siyasebenza. Ma isikhathi sifika isikhathi sokuthi imvula ayisekho like now. Basiyafulile. I think I've got 3 weeks ngingasebenzi manje.
Ka mokgwa rena re bonang ka ona bothata ba rena mo botsebotse ntho e ntjekelelang ka yona botsebotse bothata bo re leng mo ona. Re di botse mara jirila ka taba ya hore re kgone go khumana something yana ba ka re helpa ka taba ya hore bana be re ba tswalang ona mo ba khumane mo dulang ona o le skono o be le skolo o be le metsa o nwa at least ba khumane thuto ba o tswana mo crasheng ona ntse ba dulang ona hore ba ya itswa mo aya hae aska ya na le 6 years le grade B asingatsena.
Kulindawo yebo ku right ngoba yiyo indawo yethu kodwa amanzi awekho, asinamanzi, asinama toilets, akuna crash. Kunzima ukuthi umntwana ehambe esikolo. Yizo izinto esiqhakathekile esisihluphayo khona la. And kwesinye isikhathi ma wena you parent ma ungasebenzi it's difficult for ingane ukuthi ithole ukudla.
With most of the residents out looking for ways to feed their families, their kids are left to play around with no one to look after them. Added to the challenges is the fact that there is no school in and around them, posing an education challenge for the little ones. Well, after the break, we take a closer look at how small beginnings can lead to even greater things. To stay with us.
This week on The Talk Show, we test out the new BMW M240i convertible and take a closer look at the super fast and stunning BMW M4 GTS. We also show you how to jumpstart your car. All that and more this Saturday at 12:30 p.m. Repeat Sunday at 9:30 a.m. and 8:30 p.m.
An in-depth understanding of matters affecting Africa, from political upheavals to social issues, culture to sports, keeping an eye on the continent. A closer look on Africa. Africa at a glance. At these times only on ANN7, DSTV, channel 405.
Welcome back to you all to Our Africa with myself, Matabelo Muloi. It is Nelson Mandela that said that a man's goodness is a flame that can only be hidden but never extinguished. And it is by doing good that good comes to you. With the spirit of Ubuntu in full effect, one is able to recognize a need and give a helping hand. This was the case with a school principal from Bright Start College.
My name is Ruben Makombe. I'm the principal for Bright Start College. We are out here celebrating 67 minutes of Nelson Mandela. It was only one morning I drove to the farm, and as I was sharing with the guys at the farm, they told me about this place. And immediately we decided to come here and have a look at the place. When I came here, what moved me most is the level of standard of living. It's, as you can see for yourselves, and there's no proper amenities in terms of toilets. The whole community just shares one well. So when I discovered it, I was then propelled within me to take an action.
As soon as he realized the dire situation this community was in, he alerted his CEO, who was also moved with compassion.
My name is Vitumelo Mwamadi, CEO of Bright Start College. We are here in Grootfontein to build a creche for the underprivileged as part of the 67 days, and as well as us helping the community that is highly in need of any assistance that anyone can give. I work with kids since 1996. I got here by chance when our principal came to visit to pray with the people. And the minute he told me about the plight of the people here, I asked him to bring me. So the minute I got here, my heart was stolen by the children. I felt like I really needed to do something for them.
Upon first glance, this seemed like an impossible task.
The greatest challenge is proper education. You know, when you empower a young individual, you are giving that individual a future. We are a school that believes in building the nation, building the child. And we believe that every child is your child. So when I came here, they were known, all the children, small children were running around, idling, doing nothing. So I took an initiative, went and spoke to my CEO, Tumina Madi. We sat down, then she willingly came. When she came, she decided that we must put up a structure where we provide free education to the children that are here. And that's why we are here today. As you can see, the structures are being brought down, temporary structures, so that we can get rolling. And everything else, we'll look at it in the due course as what is important for us now is to start, and there is no any other great day to start than today.
My surprise when I asked that question was that there's a very great need for water. At the moment, they are getting water from one well where sewage pipes are going in. It's an open well where there's no protection and it's very dirty. And I'm very worried with the lives of the children here as to how do they survive with that water, the conditions where they are living in, and the fact that food is scarce. Proper housing structures, as you could see that everybody's living in plastics. It's winter, it's very cold for the kids, for the parents as well, and when rainy seasons come as well, you can imagine what happens here. So housing, sanitation, and education is the most important things that are needed in the area, and firstly, water.
Bright Start was able to land a help in building a creche for the community, for the kids to start getting educated, and also build a base where they will receive their meals.
So far, we've been coming with prayers. I go out looking for used clothes. I take out of my own little pocket to cook whenever I can, and I bring food to them. So our decision to build a creche here was to be able to bring things closer in a way that at least every day the kids will have breakfast and lunch and a snack in the afternoon. My concern is for those who don't get food at all during the day, because some of the parents are away and the kids are left by themselves. So at least if they have something to eat.
We are really looking at the needs of the people. When we look at it, you identify a need and meet it. Like right now, we said there was no proper education. The small children were just lying idle. So to start with, we are putting up a structure for a creche and grade R for the learners, so that we start by giving them a future. And then we are also looking at, in the long run, to improve the water facility, and also to join hands with the residents of this community to maybe put up pit latrines, so that there is proper amenities, there's proper facilities for toilets, so that we curb the spreading of diseases. Because as you can see, they are very vulnerable.
Even though this will go a long way, there's still a long list of necessities for this community.
My name is Pastor Mary Mulenga. I'm one of the pastors at Rema Bible Church. This area falls under my zone. I've been with Rema since 1997. I've been pastoring the zone for the last 2 years now. The work that is being done here, it's very humbling. I must say I didn't know what I was going to find this morning. Getting lost, just to get to this place and finally finding it. I was feeling a bit frustrated, but after I got here, I got so moved and I realized that it was important that I come and see here. It's a very humbling experience that this is what is being done, but I think it's just a little bit of more that we can actually do for this community here, because there's a lot of needs, and the basic needs that I've just seen actually is a need for water. We're crying to say there's no water to drink, and I've just been here for a few hours and this is how I feel. So what about the people that actually live here?
Human life is very vital and important. So I would encourage especially the community around and the owners of the farms that are around. Probably in the due course, I may take an effort to engage them, that they give a helping hand. Because for you to, like right now, you can see that most of the surrounding farms, they get their labor from here. But for you to have a happy worker, a worker who is in good health, you need also to provide good accommodation, good facilities, so that they are always in good health for them to sell their services to you. So we'll be engaging the communities around. For government, I know the government of South Africa is doing a lot to its citizens and also to other citizens of other Southern African region countries and the world around. That's why it's called a rainbow nation, because it's a pot of mixed colors. So my plea will be for them to, if it's possible, just to come up and provide with materials, and because the labor is already here, materials, so that a proper structure can be put up so that people live a standard that is worthy according to the World Health Standard, is worthy of living a human.
Well, when it comes to needs, it might not be possible to help everyone, but it certainly does make a huge difference by helping those you can. This community from a little-known place like Grootfontein has been moved by the compassion shown by Boitumelo and her friends and family. It did not matter where the people came from or what nationality they were. The most important thing was recognizing a need and meeting it.
Ka re le nna ka mo go ka ona ke na le ngwana, in fact na le bana ka se re ke na le ngwana, ke na le bana. So ke tagetse ka gore ngwana ka e jwana kontong a tsena sekolo mo ga se le nna mo o ba ke ya mmereko ke tsaisha mo ke ta ke jea ngwana ka creche ke ntho ntagaja.
Abantu laba abesonto laba bayenze something excellent, and siyajabula siyathaba ukuthi bazile ukuzosiza, ngoba besineodubo kakhulu ingane zethu bebetshona begijima kuphela behlala no crash, akula noma crash, kodwa abayilungu bagcwele kulindawo, akuna noma crash. So siyajabula, siyathokoza ukuthi uNkulunkulu, God have got faith.
This gets to show that as Africans, we have a duty to help one another and let the spirit of Nelson Mandela live on.
I think what we are doing here signifies a sign that, that spirit lives every day. It doesn't have to be on the 18th of July only. Any day, anywhere you see a need, as a human being, as a South African, try and put your hand and do something to humanity.
Nelson Mandela showed us something very, very vital, and that's the love. The love that is able to overcome everything that is thrown against you. He helped us the spirit of forgiveness. He embraced every challenge that happened in his life and he overcame it. So even us, I think we need to spread that spirit, because he actually showed us what it means to stand in the midst of all the problems that you face. So it's good that this is done. I pray that we can be able to do it every day of our lives, to just show some kindness and love to somebody, not just once a year.
Tata Nelson Mandela left a legacy for us. He did not think of his children, his wife, his family. He thought of Africa as a whole. When he was imprisoned for so many years, it was because he had a vision, not for himself, not for the family, but for the whole of Africa, to come together united and fight against segregation, apartheid, and racism. As Africans, we need to embrace that culture of oneness, that culture of unity. And when I look at you, I don't look at color, I look at a brother. And we must move away from judging one another according to our race, according to our color, according to where we come from. We need to embrace the legacy of Nelson Mandela, but a person should be judged by the content of his character, not by the color or where a person comes from.
The African continent is rich with a lot of things, and most important part of that is the fact that we all celebrate Ubuntu. This is the one time as Africans we can be really proud. Son of the soil of Africa, that is Mr. Mandela, celebrated by everyone from all walks of life, is that we must lead the action that celebrates and honors Mr. Mandela. We must lead each and everything and get involved and find the solutions that we need within our space, within our environments, and ensure that we actually intensify the fight we have against poverty.
Even though water and proper sanitation is still needed, as well as proper housing structures, rallying behind a community like this is a starting point towards rebuilding each other and making Africa great. Well, this entire day has indeed proved that it is by taking action that we can inspire change. Doing good should be an everyday thing and not just a once-off thing. For myself, Matapelo Moloi, and the rest of the Our Africa team, let's continue to make Africa great bit by bit. Till we meet again next time.